Hey guys, Chris here again with Project Nerf, and today we're going to do our first ever video Q&A. Let's do it.
Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa. To the honeys getting money playing.
Alright, we get lots of questions from the comment blocks on the YouTube page, the website, and of course our email. And there's a few of them that I thought I'd like to go over with you. I was asked specifically by a couple of people not to mention their name on camera. So for the sake of this first Q&A, all of the questions are just going to be anonymous. I'm just going to read them off and answer them the best I can. So let's get to it. The first question is, I read that lipos can catch on fire / explode. Is this true? Well, in short, yes. However, in saying that, almost every documented case of a malfunction with a lipo is some kind of user error. Improper charging, fast charging, over discharging the battery, not handling it properly, not storing it properly, using a battery that's in a general state of poor repair. So I think the literally hundreds of millions of users out there right now using LiPo batteries for virtually every kind of application would agree with me when I say that if you learn to handle your LiPos properly and maintain them properly, they're very safe batteries to use and should give you really good service for a long time. However, if you're not willing to put forth the effort to properly maintain and handle them, they may not be the battery for you, as a failure like catching on fire or even exploding has been reported. So yes, it can happen, but not generally very often if the battery is taken care of properly. Next question, what is a comment? I think this is commission. So the question is, what is a commission build? A commission is when you contract somebody or hire somebody to perform a service for you, or in this case in Nerf blasters, to build a blaster that you want. And there are many reasons that people do commission work. Perhaps they don't have the skill to build a blaster of their own. Some people do have the skills but do not have all of the tools required. And some people simply just don't have the time and would rather pay someone else to do it versus investing the time required to build the blaster that they want. So a commission is when you hire someone to perform a service for you. On to question 3 here. What's the best loadout? In my opinion, there really isn't one. If you're going to nail me down here, guys, the best loadout is the one that works the best for the individual player, given the game type and the rules of that game, and even the topography of the area you're playing in. If you're playing outdoors, is it heavily wooded? Is it an open field? Etc., etc. And then your play style. Some people prefer to move around a great deal, displace very often, and move quickly. Some people don't. They prefer to move slower, if at all, just kind of try to stay in one place. So there is no such thing as the universal best loadout. It's really game to game and where you happen to be playing, in my opinion. As to my personal loadout, you guys bear with me. We're going to do a loadout video here in the pretty near future, so we'll go over a few more things about that when we do that video. On to the next question. How do I know if I have enough battery for my build? Okay, obviously I would think this is posted by someone that's just getting into lipos. There are a couple things. First, you must know what kind of amperage that your system is drawing. And we'll take these commission blasters that we're building for Paul. They have Michel 2.0 motors in them. Those motors draw 18.8 amps each at stall. So 2 of them in the flywheel cage would be 37.6 amps. So if you're running a LiPo battery, the way you can tell, and a lot of people get confused, so I'm going to go ahead over it. There's 3 numbers on a LiPo battery that you need to concern yourself with. The first is the S number, which is the cell count. 2S is 2, 3S is 3, 4S is 4, so on and so forth. Each has a nominal voltage of 3.7 volts, a peak voltage of 4.2. So if you're doing a 12-volt build, you'll be using a 3S LiPo. The second number, we'll take a look here down here, is this larger number. Hopefully you can see that. This battery is 1500 milliamps. To know how much current your battery is actually going to output, you have to know how to convert that to amp hours. All of my overseas viewers, sit back, laugh, and enjoy yourself for a second as I try to explain this to those viewers that I have in America that's still on Imperial. This is expressed in milliamps. Okay, milli is the metric expression for 1/1000th. So 1500 milliamps is 1.5 amps. Okay, and you need to know how to convert it to amp hours. So 1000 milliamps equals 1 amp hour. That's what you need to know. To know how much current your battery outputs, we're going to take a look at the C rating. Okay, and this right here, they've printed it very largely. This is a very big battery. It's a 75C battery. It has a 150C burst current. Okay, now that doesn't mean this battery outputs 75 amps. That's not what that number is telling you. Okay, what that number is explaining is this battery outputs 75 amps of continuous current per amp hour of capacity. So in this case, it makes 75 amps of continuous current times 1.5 amp hours. Okay, burst current, 150 amps of burst current times 1.5 amp hours. Let me grab another battery and we'll go through those numbers again and see if we can come up with how much output the battery actually makes. Okay, we've got my faithful Turnigy graphene here. This is a 65C constant 130C burst at 1 amp hour. So it's very, very easy. 65C times 1 amp hour equals 65 amps, continuous current. Very simple. One more. Okay, our last one is my big Turnigy 3S here. Okay, it is 2200 milliamps or 2.2 amp hours. Okay, and this battery is 45C. So how much current does it make? Multiply that 45 times 2.2. So this battery makes 112 amps of continuous current and double that in burst. So it's very, very important that you don't get mixed up. The C rating, again, is not the current output of the battery. It is the current output of the battery per amp hour of capacity. So simply understand how much current your blaster is going to draw, and then make sure that you have enough battery to cover it. Multiply your C rating times your capacity in amp hours, and then you will know if you have enough battery for your build. On to the next question. This one is obviously directed at Jay, and it says, Jay, marry me. Okay, Jay is not here to respond to that, but by proxy, I'll go ahead and do it for him. Sorry to break your heart. Jay is romantically involved at the moment. I'll shoot him your email, and if something goes south, maybe he can, write you an email. Moving on. We have one more question left, guys. If you've enjoyed this type of video and would like to see more of them in the future, just drop me a line in the comment box, and maybe we'll try to do these on a semi-regular basis, depending on how many questions and comments come in. Our last question is a very, very serious one. No funning around here, and it's directed to me, and it says, Chris, I noticed that you were more serious on camera than a lot of the other Nerf guys. Is this intentional? And if so, why? Well, the short answer to that is yes, absolutely. It's very intentional. I decided from the beginning that this was first going to be a family-friendly channel, which, in my opinion, makes a lot of the antics, the foul language, the dirty limericks, all of these things inappropriate content for a family-friendly channel. There is a second reason, and that is respect to you guys, the viewers. I honestly consider every view, every minute watched, every comment, every subscription, every email, and of course every commission build to truly be a privilege. And it really just blows me away that folks out there in internet land are willing to spend a few minutes of their time with me. And because of that, I feel absolutely obligated to deliver good, clean, hopefully informative, family-friendly content that's good for viewers of all ages, whether they be 5 years old or 110 years old. I want everybody to be able to enjoy it. And from a personal standpoint, it's I would rather be a little too serious, perhaps a little dry, maybe even a little boring, than be the most hilarious guy on the internet who a concerned parent wouldn't allow their children to watch. Guys, till next time, this is Chris for Project Nerf saying, have a blast.